Hello and welcome back. We are here now on Wednesday, my dudes. So you know what Wednesday means. It either means that we finished or we've got the last finishing touches to do, or what project we have for his art. Because every Monday I start a project, every Tuesday I'm in the middle of that project, and then on Wednesday that project either gets finished or it needs a little bit more. So I'll spend a little more time on them at night, and have been with these two characters here. If you don't know what these are, I'm going to be releasing a full video on how to make these ones. But if you're a fan of Roblox, you'll know what those characters are from. But for now, we're going to be getting on with a little bit more of this, and because we gave those two another coat last night. Hello, Artemis in Craft. I'm just explaining what's going on, and yeah, so we're going to be continuing and giving this one a second coat, because obviously last night I spent painting these ones, and yeah, that took a few hours, but again, I have recorded it so you guys can check it out on how to build your very own and other things like that. And obviously if you haven't checked it out already, then we've had an idea with other things. I had a paintbrush, as you know. I got some new paintbrushes, and I wondered what I could do with old paintbrushes, so I kind of did this off stream just to see what things I could do with it. And it's I don't know if you want to use it as a wand, or you could use it as a wand. So yeah, I wanted to make a wand. And what do you think of mine? I started with a skull, and sort of started to make ribs, and then the snake kind of grew out of it. And the blue color had to be blue. I don't know if I should lighten it up with a bit of yellow in between, but that's something for me to do with the project. It gives me a good practice for other things like this detailed thing here. If you haven't been checking it out so far, guys, we have taken we started last Monday, and we do artwork on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And we started to do this one, but we did it on paper. And I asked Mr. Pineapple Man if he comes in today, then we'll have a chat with him. But it's for you guys to catch up, because we're having a catch up now, as this is the last live stream of the week of artworks. It doesn't say that I'm finished with this one, and probably be giving another coat tomorrow, but that's because when I'll be editing, I'll have a little bit more time. We'll be here live again, guys. I will be uploading something from previous videos. If you haven't been checking out previous videos, then definitely go and do so, on how we made my own personal OC, and also how we made Morningscape, because Morningscape is coming for a visit. I'm going to shift him over a little bit. Morningscape's coming for a visit next week, so I will be not so much live, not so much what I've been editing for you guys to check out, because I know sometimes watching a whole hour, which is what it's going to be, a whole hour today, as always, maybe 50 minutes. So Alexa, set me 50 minutes on a timer.
50 minutes, starting now.
And I'll press play on the recording, because the camera that you're coming from on the live stream isn't the best, and that's why I do record, so you guys get a better picture, better quality, and I give you a bit more of a zoom in as I'm going along. But Pineapple Man, what do you think of the colours so far? Obviously the trousers are going to be a bit more lighter. The chain's going to be obviously a bit more yellow, and we're going to darken that out and put that pink in there where you wanted, and obviously paint the glasses. Got those. I was trying out a few details yesterday on your other created things that you wanted to be painted and made. That one is near enough finished now, so probably by the end of this week, or maybe the beginning of next, it'll be ready for pickup, or if you want to, it'll be posted. But do you like the blue? Do you like yellow and the green? And I don't know about that. That's just something I had to faff around. Kind of had a little bit more blue left over from the other creation here. And I was like, what can I do with that? So I've made a few little extra items. For practicing, definitely for sculpting half of it, because they made that for that hand here. So he could actually hold his little cane up here like that. So he stands freestanding, like if you were. Oh, of course, somebody's coming to knock on my door because I'm live. Give me a moment, guys. I am going to just sling on what we were listening to last week, and I will answer my door. Be right back. BRB. Sorry about this. Somebody's knocking on the door when I'm live. Lovely, jubbly. Got a nice big sign up saying, don't knock on my door. So it must be important.
Poisons to awaken the sleeping embrace unto their very children. They teach us ways in school. Lost little princess, this world already belongs to me. As Diana stands on her own, she then says that from him, they will take it back. She runs forward, but before Ares can attack, the gods all assist in distracting him. Diana manages to wrap the lasso around him and then pulls the cord, ripping into his body. Michaelis asks if she just killed the god of war, and Barbara Ann tells him that they'd be hardly gods if it were that simple. One of the gods swoops by, grabbing Barbara Ann's phone and lands on Steve's shoulder, handing the phone over. After looking at it, Steve shouts, "Never mind, the owl showed me that the Sierra groups plan to attack across the world." Anna takes the phone to the locations and then says they are targeting the United Nations. He looks back at Diana and she grabs him, taking him up into the air.
It says blatantly, I am not the number on the thing, not even the name on the thing, but yet he knocked on my door because he heard me talking. Little monkey.
He said
Right.
they were teaching their children.
That's
Seconds
nice.
later, she
Interrupting
bursts
my
the
live
doors
stream,
to the
but
auditorium where the children are
next
being
door,
held. And the
they
Seer
post
group
and
opens fire.
they're posting
Steve
for
starts
knock
to
on my door.
evacuate the
Lovely
children
jubbly.
as one of them fires. The bullet ricochets off the...
That didn't annoy me at all. Right, okay, so we're live, and yeah, how do you like the colours? Obviously, it's going to be darker than that because of the picture we drew last week. But that was annoying, and welcome back. And this is why we do recordings, because when I'm live, things like that happen. Oh dear, I thought it was some sort of child playing Knock Knock Ginger or something, because I looked out the window, there was nobody there. Right, and then I looked out the door. Do you like the old... Has managed to get him holding his what's it called, bowler hat there? That was actually a pleasure to actually make, because I've been wanting to make some sort of hat for a while, put it onto a hat or things like that. So that was actual pleasure to make the bowler hat there. Cutting onto the hand and making it stay there, on the other hand, was not so much, and that's why I had to practice with making hands, like I showed you the claw thing there. And yeah, just got his tails there, like free flowing. They're obviously not going to be, you can't bend them around. They are they are attached to the leg. Because I've had previous problems with making my Blue Angel, the sash kept snapping off. So I was like, I don't want to risk that in shipping or putting it into the box. So I thought change that up a little bit. But we have got loose, semi-loose bits, but I definitely wouldn't go bending around it too much. Again, it's fragile, but it's wearable. You couldn't. I wouldn't let it say. I wouldn't throw it against the wall, if you know what I mean. So it's a definitely decorative thing. So hopefully you will like it. Again, we need to paint some more, put some more paint onto it. If you wish, we can listen to what I was literally just slammed on because we were already listening to it, or we can listen to something else. Please don't pick the Hulk. We can have Captain Marvel because I've got some of that loaded up because I know that we can keep keeping on the female. Or if you want to go back to male heroes, there's a plethora as comic story. Or we can go to Comics Explained and listen to a little bit of that if you wish. Awesome. Next one. Yep, I've just planned to reuse the paints and things. Just to quickly show you that there's my other camera. So it is being recorded. Same with the other two characters. I'll show you how to make one for yourself step by step. Like other YouTubers do. Yay! Because apparently that's what I am. So we'll do some more YouTubing and we'll get, what did you want to listen to? Great so far. Keep growing. Thank you very much. Everybody did well. If you like it much, mate, where's me like? Give me a thumbs up. And if everybody else is watching, don't forget to leave some thumbs up as well. If you're new to the channel and you already, you've studied long enough, my name's Blut084, BLUT084, art and games. If you haven't been checking out the latest artworks, then definitely go do so. There are more than a plethora of different things that you can be watching, or how-tos. And even if you've got a favorite character and you want to let me know, and you want to build for yourself, let me know the character, as this is the first paid project, and hopefully not the last. I can do all sorts of different things. I can draw you, I can make you, can even do it in VR. But for now, we're going to be listening to some more of what we were listening to. Is that what you want to do, Mr. Pineapple Man? Look great save. Keep what we was on. So we want the finishing of the comic from yesterday. So let's have Wonder Woman, Rebirth Origin, so her new origin. Because they've had a rebirth and they've had a crisis and all sorts of different things. So they changed the characters up. They explained that more yesterday. If you didn't check it out, definitely go do so. Otherwise, bing, bing, let's go.
Vambrace into the tanks of gas. The hazmat team seal it up, leaving Diana inside, and Steve tells them to wait. As Diana inhales the poison, she tries to fly away, crashing into the walls. And then she grabs one of the men, asking if this is what they want for their children. She throws the man aside, telling him, "I will kill you. I will kill you. I will not be this." She forces herself to get back up, unwrapping herself in the lasso, shouting, "This is not true." A bright light begins to radiate from Diana, and then it fades. Steve pushes through the hazmat team, going inside to see Diana, and then he hugs her. A few days later, Etta and Barbara Ann take Diana out to eat to let her try a tequila surprise. As she sips her drink, Steve asks if they've decided anything yet, and Etta tells him no, they were busy trying to drink. Steve throws down a stack of newspapers stating that everyone else has settled on a name. Diana says that she already has one, and Steve laughs, stating, "Well, they're going to give you another one, and your name is Wonder Woman." Now that wraps up the Wonder Woman Year 1 Rebirth retelling of her first years. Don't forget, this is a retelling. Wonder Woman is one of my favorite superheroes. I've always enjoyed her storylines. And if you want to see some more awesome storylines, I do have a whole bunch of videos for the New 52 run already up on the channel, and the link to that playlist will be down below. We're going to be wrapping up that storyline as well. It's a great storyline.
Thank you very much for those thumbs up.
But now, like I told you, Warner Brothers is sponsoring.
Now comes the boring part.
What that means is that now we're going to show you some of the amazing characters
quietly
in the DC Legends game for the Wonder Woman movie. So anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at some of these characters and go over some of their moves. And
sometimes
why
I can do it for an
the
hour.
Right now, this
Sometimes
alone,
I can do it in
if
the
you log
evening.
in every day, you will
For
get a
about
free
7.
Wonder Woman character with upgrades. Why not come back right now? Let's go ahead and check out the characters. Before we move into actually showing you some of the moves, I want to show you the 3 characters that they gave us to show to you guys. Now, keep in mind, they did give us enough to upgrade the characters to 1-star legendary. But being a huge fan of this game as I am, I already upgraded them beyond that. So first up, we have Hippolyta, the Queen of the Amazons. She's a very much support character with different abilities such as shielding your team or attack.
And with my new brushes that you saw in the video, if you haven't checked out already, what my new stuff or my new stuff, the paint brushes in there, I'm actually using them, and they are one of the best I've actually used. Got some nice fine liners. You'll see me using them as I go along. I'll try and tell you which one, but once I start getting into it and getting in that zone, I tend to forget what I'm doing.
That's partially because I don't have Zatanna at Legendary, but either way, this character can heal your team and poison the other team, hence her name, Dr. Poison. And then, of course, the last character on our roster is Wonder Woman herself, but the movie version of the Wonder Woman. Now, I cannot tell you how much I actually love the costume that they gave her. They gave her the cloak version with, like, the tiara, but, like, a face mask kind of thing. It's really awesome, and she makes a great tank on your team. She has a taunt ability, she has a self-heal ability, and she has the ability to steal buffs off of the enemy, and then if you are passing legendary upgrades to it, pass it along your team. It's a really strong character that if you log in right now for the month of June, you can get for free. So let's go ahead and look at their actual abilities, because they're pretty epic as well. Bear in mind, my team that I brought into this fight included the other Wonder Woman character who has been in the game since the launch of the game. So first up, we've got Wonder Woman with an AoE lasso maneuver that hits everyone and then slams them down. I really don't know where she gets the rock from, but whatever, it makes for a very effective maneuver. Between every turn, you can see the Wonder Woman tank character actually is taunting for my team, allowing her to take a ton of damage. Luckily, I have Hippolyta to put a shield onto the tank Wonder Woman and Dr. Poison to go ahead and, heal up my Wonder Woman. Now, one thing that you will notice is Hippolyta is a full-blown support character. Basically, you can either pick to attack, buff your team, or to give them shields. Since these enemies were kind of weak compared to my team, I definitely went with more of the attack buff early on, but I do show you guys the shields in a bit. Now, the next move that was used is the Wonder Woman ability where she grabs one enemy and then is unblockable. She completely destroys the enemy. It does a ton of damage. Sometimes it doesn't kill them, but every time in my little weaker fight here, I was definitely wrecking the enemy. So right here is one of Dr. Poison's moves. Remember how I said she can heal and she can do a poison and bleed on your enemies? This is the AoE poison bleed maneuver. And I guess her legendary abilities, I didn't go into this area, but one of the guys on my team was telling me they did this. Apparently, you could put bleed on one guy and it spreads to the entire opposing team. Sounds like a crazy PvP maneuver, but I haven't actually gotten to try these characters on PvP just yet. And that is just a little bit about what's going on with the Wonder Woman update in the DC Legends game right now. Now, I'm going to make a video explaining a lot of the stuff that they brought into the game to really make it a fun and enticing game, because overall, when the game first launched, there was a lack of content. I mean, there was plenty to do, but eventually you would camp out your characters. There's so much to do now, it's not even funny, and I've just been playing the heck out of this game nonstop, and you guys definitely need to check it out. So anyway, don't forget, this video is sponsored by Warner Brothers, but I play the heck out of that games, and I pretty much was already playing this when they said, do you want to show off the characters? And I was like, yeah, I want to show off the characters. But we'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the origins of Wonder Woman. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite team on DC Legends is. Overall, personally, up till now, I've been using Reverse Flash, Supergirl, Hawkgirl, and Zatanna. But I have a very strong feeling with these new characters, my current roster is going to rotate entirely out. So we'll go ahead and check that out later. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian. And you can also follow our Discord where we are talking about DC Legends. I'll talk to you guys later right here.
Ah, the great British countryside. Across the fields, down the lanes, into the cowsheds. Love is in the air. Breathe it in. At Muddy Matches Dating, we specialise in matching outdoors living singles who share a passion for country life and mud on their boots. The farmers, dog owners, horse lovers, and weekend walkers. Go on, get yourself out there. Unearth your muddy match with us.
This is adapting to the new now, brought to you by NatWest.
Welcome to Wonder Woman versus the Dark Gods, the conclusion to the storyline involving her brother Jason. So to give you a quick recap, this is a storyline that we started a very long time ago. Wonder Woman discovered that she had a brother, Jason, and Jason had been hidden away from her by Zeus and the various gods a long time ago. He was then tricked into working with Grail and Darkseid, but eventually he sided back with Wonder Woman. He then was given armor intended for Wonder Woman to give him powers. Well, while this was going on, Wonder Woman went over to the Dark Knight Metal event in which she was granted a wish. And her wish was for the return of the god, because at this time, Zeus and the Pantheon are all dead thanks to Darkseid. Well, she didn't specify what gods she wanted to have return. And today we'll be telling you the story of her wish. This is the Comicstorian channel where we give you the recap of your favorite lore for comic books, video games, and movies. We just sit here and give it to you as an audio drama because I just enjoy doing this. And if you enjoy the video, at the ending, please consider subscribing and giving it a like. But let's go ahead and get started. Lightning strikes over the Empire Industries offices as Veronica Cale finishes signing the last of her pages when she hears someone call out to her. She looks up to see a projection of her old friend, Adriana, also known as Dr. Cyber, after being trapped within the Cyberwalker suit. Veronica says that it's a surprise to see her. She thought that they were done and over with after their last conversation. But Adriana laughs, stating that the number of firewalls she had to break down to get here, it would seem so. She has come with information. Barbara Minerva, Cheetah, has escaped from Wonder Woman's grasp and is currently free. Veronica says that she swore that Cheetah would be her property once again if she got the chance. So let the hunt for Cheetah begin. Several days later, Dr. Poison heads to the lab, radioing to Veronica that there has been a slight complication. After capturing Cheetah, she clearly didn't want to talk or share any information. But today, without warning, Cheetah slipped into a coma. She's still alive, but they'll just have to wait until. But before she could finish, Cheetah's eyes open up and she screams out, "Urtskataga!" And she rips herself from her restraints. She slashes the throat of the doctor, shouting, "Urtskataga! You're not the only god! The dark gods draw near!" Dr. Poison reports that Cheetah has broken free, but before Dr. Poison's team can stop her, Cheetah made her way into the elevators. She climbs the cables up to the shaft, and as one of Veronica's aides tell her, they're awaiting orders. There's slashing sounds coming as a man screams out in pain. When Veronica looks back, Cheetah charges through, grabbing Veronica by the neck, running onto the balcony, holding Veronica above the city. She shouts that they captured her to be tested on like before. It ends now. But just before Cheetah could dig her nails into Veronica's throat, Diana tackles into Cheetah, telling her that there will be no more killed. Not even Veronica. Cheetah's body slides across the ground as she gets back up, yelling that Veronica's actions are an insult to the god, Erzkataga. She must address this insult so that she can be free. Free of Erzkataga in all ways so that she can face the next gods with a clean soul. The two exchange blows and Diana asks, what is she talking about? None of this makes any sense. Just then there's a flash of light as the skies open up, and Diana asks, what is that? Was it the toxin on her claws? Cheetah jumps towards her, but Diana bashes her with her shield, shouting, answer me! What is it that I just saw? Cheetah snarls at her, telling her, you will pay too. And she jumps off the roof to escape. Diana begins to give chase, but before she can catch up, Steve radios in asking if she's there. Diana says, please tell her that he is calling because he knows where Barbara is heading. And Steve tells her, no, I actually called to make sure you're okay. There's been reports of people, numbering in the tens of thousands, swearing off their gods while having bouts of insanity. They all kept stating something about the next gods will come, the dark gods. Diana says that this seems similar to what Barbara was stating, and how she wanted to sever her ties from Erzkataga. Steve tells Diana to just be alert out there. Cheetah can't be the only one like that with superpowers. And that's when Diana sees something coming at her out of the corner of her eye. And it hits her with enough force to send her flying to the ground. When Diana gets back up, Supergirl, with her eyes glowing red, gets ready to swing again, yelling, Rao is dead, Wonder Woman, and you're next. Supergirl cracks Diana again, sending her through a building. And then she continues to shout, the gods are gone! The dark gods are coming to show us the way. Diana flies back into the fray, asking if she's even listening to herself. She is blind with rage. Supergirl tells her, it isn't I who speaks, it is the dark gods. They talk in my head, whispers, and they tell me that Wonder Woman must not be allowed to interfere. Diana shouts that she doesn't understand, and Supergirl fires a heat vision blast, asking, how can you say that? You are the one who summoned them. A wish, a word. You dragged them from their dimension into ours. Diana deflects the blast, telling her, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't summon anyone. The two struggle for power as they crash into nearby buildings, punching into one another. And Diana grabs her lasso, throwing it onto Supergirl. Supergirl tries to free herself, yelling that she will not be snared by the likes of her. She will break her. Supergirl whips her, flinging Diana into a building, and then shoots off, dragging Diana behind her, smacking into buildings as she goes. Diana grabs onto a roof, digging in her heels, thinking to herself that back on Themyscira, using the term break was for horses. This is going to be one of those cases. Diana pulls back on the lasso, shouting that she commands her to talk. Tell her everything about the dark gods. Meanwhile, over at the Aegean Islands, Diana's brother Jason sits with three beautiful women, and they all speak, finishing each other's sentences. They say that they have come at the request of his father, Galactus, after he was freed. What is it that Jason wishes to know? Jason takes a sip of his wine, stating that they are not what he was expecting. With all due respect, the women change form, each holding a thread, asking, is this what you were expecting? They change into Greek garb and then ask, maybe this? And then finally into a cartoon, asking, perhaps this? The three women shift back into their original beautiful self, stating that this is the look that they would have on a nice sunny day in the Greek Isles. Perfect guides for walking among the mortals. Nice palate cleaner every decade or so. Anyway, he didn't meet them out of curiosity. What exactly does he want? Jason then says, answers. That's what the fates give, if I'm not mistaken, right? There was a time where I vanished, no memory. And when I awoke, I had this peculiar set of armor, one that would give me the power of any god in the Greek pantheon, but only one of those powers at a time. I can't help but feel that this armor wasn't for me. I hardly know what powers to use at any given time, or when, or even why. One of the fates tells him that that's good, because it wasn't meant for you. Your father Zeus created this as a weapon to fight against the dark gods. They are on their way, and soon. Even away from Earth with the other Greek deities, Zeus foresaw their coming and created the armor for the hero that he considered Earth's mightiest champion. Jason pauses when he thinks about it, and then says that this was meant for his sister. And one of the fates laughs, stating, at least you realize that. Another says, unfortunately, your father died before he could bestow the armor. The rest of the pantheon, wanting to honor his wishes, assumed he created it for his son. All except Hera. She just allows you to get it to mess with you. Jason then asks, should he give the armor to Diana? And then he asks, Does it look like the armor would fit her? No. Of course not. It's already bonded to me and shaped to my body, literally and spiritually. It is forever mine now. I couldn't get rid of it even if I tried. He then sighs, stating, I feel unworthy to wear this. I hardly know how to even use it. And the fates tell him that he'd better learn, and quick. Because as of right now, he shouldn't even be here with them. His sister needs him. The dark gods aren't coming anymore. They're here. Using the speed of Hermes, Jason rushes out of the villa, flying over to Washington, where Diana is finishing subduing Supergirl. Steve radios back to Diana, stating that there's something coming in, and fast. She needs to. But before he could finish, Diana looks up and sees Jason suddenly there yelling, I'm here! She flies up asking him where he's been, and he says that he went to meet the Fates. They told him that the dark gods were coming and explained the armor. It was meant for her. He got it by mistake. But he'll tell her all about it later because he knows that he's not making much sense right now. Right now, the dark gods are supposed to be appearing. So where are they, Diana? Diana points up into the sky as the lightning clouds form, stating that they're about to find out. With the sun's light, 4 giant figures appear as they push themselves through the clouds. And as they form, Jason says, okay, that's a surprise. They're monoliths and they're not doing anything? Diana tells him that she's not sure when suddenly red beams shoot out of the monolith's eyes. And Diana shouts that they need to get close and find out what they want. Just then there's a flash of pink light and the star sapphires, Miri and Bloss appear grabbing Diana. And they tell her that she must come. The star sapphires of Zamaron need her. Diana struggles to free herself, shouting, wait, but as Jason tries to help the 3 disappear. Jason looks back at the monoliths, now alone, as they continue shooting their beams, asking, what should I do? As Diana blinks, she sees the home world of the star sapphires. The world where love is everything, dying. Once she materializes, she pulls her arms free, asking, why don't they listen? She can't stay here. She is needed back on Earth. Return her now. Miri tells her that at this moment she is needed here. And Diana smacks her hand, shouting, no! Earth is being invaded. And although I'm not certain how, it's apparently my fault. Bloss tells her that they understand that, but if the Dark God's arrival is her causing, then she must be held accountable here on the homeworld of the Star Sapphires. Bloss points up into the sky at a monolith similar to the ones on Earth, stating that her home is not the only place where their cancer has taken root. Diana, realizing that the Dark Gods are also attacking this world, tells them, okay, I'm listening. Bloss goes on to tell her that, honestly, there isn't much to go on. The monolith suddenly appeared, and with it, an entity. They fought the new entity, but the entity calling himself Karnell claims to be the god of love, although his idea differs greatly from their own. If he does indeed mean love, then it's in its cruelest, crudest form. He can detect any slight flaw in someone's love and use it against them. Their leader, Bella Farron, is strong and determined, and she fell to Karnell's attacks. She burned before their very eyes. Diana then asks, why her? She doesn't like to think that she caused all of this, and they didn't even know that she did, yet they came for her. Bloss tells her that they need a new leader, someone to lead them to victory, someone who was already once a great Star Sapphire. Diana thinks back to when she wore the Sapphire Lantern ring during the time of Blackest Night, and says that if she's going to stand amongst them, fight alongside them, she will need to look the part. All of the lanterns hold up their power rings, bestowing Diana once again with the Star Sapphire ring, allowing her to become one of them once more. Diana flies up into the sky to try and learn more about the monolith, but as she gets close, its eyes light up red and Karnell himself emerges, shouting, come, Amazon! You came sooner than I had expected. Oh, I'm going to love this. She pulls out her sword, asking, is he some kind of seer? Was he expecting her? And Karnell hits her with a blast of energy, stating, of course he did. Who does she think put the idea in the head of the Star Sapphires? Diana deflects and strikes, asking, what are you raving about? Why would you bring me here to help the Star Sapphires? Karnell brushes off Diana's attack, stating, what I want is the Earth to be free of you, so that my brethren can change your world to a semblance of ours. All without the interference of the one who summoned us. You do remember that part, right? You made a wish for the gods' return. Well, here we are, Diana. Diana says perhaps she did say that, but she meant the Greek pantheon, not. But Karnell stops her, stating, you wished for gods. You were not specific. Karnell hits Diana as she asks, why are we fighting? We have to be at war. Karnell shouts, war was declared the moment that you dragged us from our home worlds. Our beautiful world, which you regard as the dark multiverse. We see it as a paradise. We were more than just gods. We were everything. But of course, what gods want is to be worshipped or feared. preferably both. Diana grabs her lasso, asking how could he call himself a god of love then? What kind of love wants to be feared? Love is unconditional. Carnell laughs. Spoken like a true adult, naive romantic. Love always has conditions. Carnell catches the lasso, telling Diana that she evades his blast so quickly in fear of what might lurk within her own heart. So let's find out together. As Diana is finally hit, Carnell asks, unconditional? There's nothing unconditional about love. Now as I take your power, as I feed, see through my eyes who I am. In the unlikely event that you survive, you will thank me, but you will finally see the truth about love. Diana begins to see the world through Carnell's eyes all the way back to when he was a child. He was scared when he watched his father beat his mother until finally she stopped breathing. When his father looked back, his fist still dripping with his mother's blood, he ran in fear, worried that he would suffer the same fate. As a boy, he loved his mother and hated his father, both emotions, love and hate. They burned so bright that even from within the darkness of their world, the mighty King Best noticed. Their world was young, and King Best gathered his pantheon. The boy was chosen to become Carnell, who became both a man and a god. Their world was forged by the Titans, much like the reality of this world's own Greek pantheon, though their Titans destroyed 5 other realities. The energy that they gathered forged their plane of existence. Even though there are 5 now, there were 7 brothers. Without King Best as their father god, he fears for their control over their worshippers. She did that. She tore them from their realm of love and fear and control. Can she imagine how they feel? Diana fights back, stating that yes, she can, but as Carnell starts to burn Diana, there is a bright light, and together the star sapphires hold up their rings. Bloss calls out that they asked for Wonder Woman's help, but that doesn't mean that they are helpless. As the sapphires focus their energy on Carnell, he releases Diana before consuming her, shouting that she will use their love to kill them. Diana begins to fall, and as she snaps back to reality, she yells to everyone that they need to get back. He is far too powerful. Carnell then releases an energy blast, blowing everyone away. And Diana tells everyone that they need to get back to Zamarin to regroup. Once everybody gets back to the solid ground, Diana says that she knows how to defeat Carnell. They can, but she can't without their help. Love can be real and true, and they all know that, but instead of focusing their powers on Carnell, they will have to focus them on her. Together with their love, they will be on their way to victory. Diana flies back into the sky with the power of all the sapphires in her sword, telling Carnell that he made a mistake by showing her his origin. She holds no hate in her heart for him, only pity and love. A love made from 100-fold by her sisters around her. Does he feel it? She loves him. She takes her sword, piercing into his heart. And then Carnell stumbles back, looking at the sword. He grabs the hilt, pulling the sword back out, stating, "You better enjoy this moment. You beat a god, but only this round. I will see you back on Earth, where you will face 5 of us." As Diana takes the sword, Miri says they owe her so much. She saved their core and their planet. Diana tells her that they saved them. She didn't do it alone, but now she must return so that she can see what they're up against. If she needs them, she'll send word somehow. Miri and Bloss hold out their hands, and in a flash of pink light, Diana... However, Jason is gone, and all she can see are the monoliths. During the time of Diana's abduction, Jason watched as his sister disappeared, and he realized that he was now alone. However, even alone, he knows that he must do something, fight against them somehow. Jason notices a group of worshippers on a nearby building, and when he looks back at the monoliths, he sees that there are only 3 of them, and one is larger. If he were to use the wisdom of Athena, maybe he could learn something about them. Soon, there is a rumble from the 3 smaller monoliths, and Jason watches as the gods appear before him. The female on the black hood and horns is Mob God, goddess of chaos and order, the order of mob rule and the order of riot. The second ghostly figure is the god with no name, the god of doubt and the god of nothing. The third is in a red mask with flaming hair, and they are Savage Fire, the goddess of war. Not war for some ideal of common good, but of power and profit, war of blood. The fourth, however, remains intact, not showing its true form. Jason flies closer to the 3 gods, and Savage Fire shouts that she can feel the power of the old god Ares within him. Let's go to war! As Savage Fire attacks, Mob God flies down to the people in the nearby building, casting a spell on them, telling them to do as she commands and leap to your death. Using his wind, Jason blows out Savage Fire's attacks and quickly activates Hermes' speed to catch the jumping civilians. The god with no name begins to cast his magic, draining the people of their very life, and Jason calls upon the spear Polly, that he named after his mother. He throws it at the god with no name, asking himself if it will hit. And as the god with no name freezes, allowing the spear to pass through him, Jason says, I figured that would happen. He calls back the spear, but before he can throw it again, Savage Fire takes the form of a fiery winged creature, grabbing him, asking, what do you think I've done with you? She throws him into a car, asking, is that all there is of you? I hoped for more. A true battle. But that's when a red and blue blur shoots by and Supergirl punches with both fists straight into Savage Fire's head. Supergirl starts to fall from the sky, and as Jason catches her, she says punching a god like that with so much magical energy sure takes a lot out of her. Jason says that he's glad that she came, but he thought Diana, and Supergirl stops him, stating that those insane gods possessed her using their energy. Supergirl looks up at the one large monolith and says, there just seems to be one that hasn't become real yet. And Jason tells her that King Bess is waiting. Steve then radios in stating that it's all good because he sent in some people to help figure out what he's waiting for. Jason looks at the Justice League shouting, thank God! And Batman asks, is that an attempt at humor? Which god do you want to thank? Jason stutters, stating, just saying how relieved I am to see you guys. Batman then asks, what can you tell me beyond what we already know? And Jason says, well, although there are 4 dark gods on Earth, there's possibly 5 in total. Diana was taken away by the Star Sapphires to possibly help with the 5th. But that big one there, he's the leader, King Best. Martian Manhunter then says, we need to have a closer look. And as he flies off, Jason says, you make it sound so simple. How do you do that? Hawkgirl follows behind, stating that she's new here too. Just do what she does. Watch and learn. However, as the Justice League gets closer, King Best looks at them, holding out his arm, absorbing all of them but Jason. He stares around, realizing that no one is there to assist him anymore, and states, oh, this isn't good. And then King Best smacks him away. King Best falls to earth, landing on his feet, causing an earthquake, stating, let it begin. Jason pulls himself out of the crater that he was knocked into, stating, I'm not done yet. And King Best looks at him, stating, you are the old god's son. Just as Jason is about to get hit with a fiery blast, Diana runs in, shielding him, and Jason shouts, boy, am I glad to see you. This might be a bit beyond me. She tells him it's not beyond him. He just needs the right person to be with, and now that she is here, they will face these dark gods together. The two get ready for battle as Steve radios in, filling Diana in on what they're up against. She tells him that if they bring down King Best, the rest should fall. As Diana begins her attack, King Best asks if her anger is truly directed at him or at herself for bringing them here. Diana swings at King Best's face, stating that she may have brought them here, but she will send them back. Together, Diana and Jason begin their assault with enough power to throw King Best off balance. She flies in, grabbing King Best by the chest, lifting him up, throwing him into the Atlantic Ocean, stating that this should give them enough time to deal with the others. The two split off as Jason follows up on the reports in South America that that's where Savage Fire went. Diana then stops by Steve's airship to find out where she needs to go because they just don't know where all of these gods have vanished to. But as Steve gets ready to give his report, one of the soldiers mentions that they got word that all the dark gods vanished. So she asks, what could that mean? And the second soldier runs up stating that they got new sightings. They've all gathered in one place, including King Best. They're over the skies of Paraguay. Without a word, Diana rushes off to the jet, making her way to where her brother went. And as she arrives, Jason attacks her, asking if she's looking for him. She catches herself shouting for him to wait. He can't let the dark gods influence his mind and drive him mad. He strikes again, knocking Diana to the ground, telling her, I'm not mad, I'm more sane than I've ever been. I see everything clearly now. The Greek gods are nothing. All praise the dark gods. Diana charges in, trying to take on King Best, but now with Jason turned against her, she's easily overpowered. She spins back, cracking Jason with her shield, yelling for him to resist it. He is better than this. He hits her back with the lightning of Zeus, telling her, I will use the power of our dear dead half-brother Hercules to finish you off. Jason pulls back, hitting Diana with all of his strength, sending her flying across the city. But before he leaves, he tells the dark gods, fear not, he will take care of her. She crashes down on the nearby forest, and as she crawls out of the hole, she begs Jason not to do this, please. But Jason floats down, telling her to steady herself. Everything is fine. I'm fine. All the fighting, the drama, I did it to get you away from here. The dark gods think I'm under their control, but I managed to trick their senses so that they would believe it. Diana asks him how, and he laughs, telling them, I have the power of the Greek gods, including Dalos, the god of lies. I was working out a way to defeat them, that is, using the power of Athena, but you are the only one that they seem to fear. Diana says that is true. Carnell mentioned something about keeping her with the star sapphires and away from Earth. Maybe her being there can be used against them. Jason tells her yes. It will definitely require both of them to work together, and it may hurt. Seconds later, Jason slams Diana into the ground before the dark god, shouting, "There! I would have wrapped her up in a bow if I had more time. You can now possess my sister, add her to your ranks." King Bess looks down, stating, "I could lie. But lies are beneath one such as I. Her power is one that we fear cannot be contained. The fact that she brought us here to this reality makes her unique in that regard." Jason yells, "No! Just like lies, fear is beneath you too, O great King Best. Possess her! Show her that your power is still greater." King Best quietly stares, and soon the world warps as it changes into the world of King Best's mind. Jason whispers to Diana that they are here in their subconscious. It's time to wake up. She slowly begins to wake up, stating that she never felt such a deep sleep before. Jason tells her, "That's because of Morpheus, the god of sleep." As Diana gets up to her feet, King Best asks, "How dare you deceive me?" Jason says, "Well, Pythio is the god of persuasion." Quite the bachelor pad, I must say. Diana grabs the sword, and Jason tells her not to worry. They are on their side of the fence, where they are more vulnerable. And she is the one that they fear. So go get her, Wonder Woman. Diana rushes in, hitting Mob God and King Best, telling Jason that they will both be crushed. And Jason says, "No, I will sit here and listen. My sister is always going to be better at this than me." King Best then says that he will simply eject her from this plane. "We will always be greater than them." Jason asks, "Are you really?" On the outside, Diana would never stop coming for you. If she is what you fear, then she will see it through to the end. Diana continues to beat on the other gods. And Jason says, "You could make us an offer. Your only chance and best chance you'll get since we came to Earth." King Best asks, "What chance is that exactly?" Jason tells him, "The one thing that you desire above all else, to go home. I will allow you to absorb me." Diana screams, "No!" realizing what Jason is offering. But Jason goes on to explain, "If you absorb me, you have the power and the energy of the whole Greek pantheon. With my power augmenting yours, I'm sure you will be able to get back to your reality." King Best pauses and then asks, "You deceived me once before. I am wary. Why would you offer yourself in such a way?" Jason then says, "There are conditions. You return the Justice League and you undo all the madness you caused here. And you leave Earth forever." King Best begins to weigh his options. And then suddenly Jason and Diana are back in the real world with all of the dark gods back in their monoliths. Diana looks to Jason asking, "Are you out of your mind? You just gave yourself to the dark gods." Jason tells her, "Look, I may have kept a few things to myself, but hey, they're inanimate again. Probably considering my offer." Diana tells him that she can't let him do this. He would be a webbed up zombie, just as the others were. There has to be another way. She is the one who made this stupid wish. She cannot lose him now. Please. She only recently discovered she even had a brother. Jason looks away, stating the dark gods are too powerful. Sure, they have the edge right now, but even if she does defeat them, what would the cost be? What would be left on Earth? Diana begins to cry, telling him that he will just be in a state of living death forever. Jason says that's a sacrifice heroes sometimes have to make. But today, I get to be the hero, sister. To hug. King Best says they agree to his terms. "Be one with them, brother of the Amazon." Light begins to shine, and Diana yells for them to wait before she can do anything. Jason disappears. In the blink of an eye, the Justice League is returned, and Batman asks, "How do we get out?" Diana cries, getting her brother. He gave himself for them. And King Best calls out that, as agreed, they will go. "Pray to whichever gods remain here, that we never have a reason to return." Diana charges at the group, shouting that she will not let them go. But as they fade, the god with no name tells her, "You will do nothing." As the month passes, Diana stands on a battleship with Steve, and he asks, "You didn't get a chance to say goodbye?" He says no. But she's kind of glad it happened that way. Goodbye feels so fine. Knowing her brother is out there somewhere, without a farewell or a goodbye. She'll have hope to see him once again one day. Steve says that he's wary of Jason after everything with Grail and Darkseid, but he really pulled through this time. And Diana sighs, stating that he got his wish. He wanted to save the world and become a hero. But she is not some delicate China doll. It's been a rough month, but she'll prevail. Diana and Steve kiss, but as Diana pulls away, she says, "Ouch." Steve laughs, saying, Fine, I'll shave when I get back." And Diana tells him he'd better. He heads out, and Diana begins to fly over the sea, telling herself that this won't be the end. She will look ahead and beyond for those that she misses. Jason, her mother, the Amazons of Themyscira, all in her ear. She will look for a better tomorrow. And that is the conclusion to the Dark God storyline and the Jason storyline. This actually brings all of the Wonder Woman storylines we've done to an end and concludes the Wonder Woman plot. Moving on, we now have G. Willow Wilson taking over writing duties on this title, and it has a whole new storyline that has started up recently. So we'll get to it eventually, probably closer to the Wonder Woman 1984 movie, but that's pretty much it. Let me know, what do you guys think about the entire storyline of Wonder Woman as a whole at this point, and what happened in the Rebirth storyline with the Greg Rucka run, where she discovered that she had never been back to Themyscira, and then we discovered like her true villains, and now we discovered the Dark Gods of DC Metal. Overall, thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
And while they shift over, I will give you, cancel that a second, I'll give you a quick look on what that looks like to what this looks like. This is where we started. And hopefully the color, I'm keeping to the colors that you liked are on the picture we made last week. And that hopefully that's around about the same colors. I know it's still going to need another coat just because it just looks too, it's not dark enough yet. But yeah, I'll definitely be giving that another coat. Gotta let it dry and get like that. But we've got the head to do still. We've got to do the glasses. But other than that, I think it's looking okay. What do you say, Mr. Pineapple there? And is there anything else you want to listen to while I've got your attention? They've got the cane here. Did you like the way the cane is? Or did you want me to have that because that there is separate? Well, not separate, but it's been separated. Do you want it the whole cane top? Do you want it in like a brown, or do you want to leave it silver and have this as another color, or and I'm gonna have this as red, but again with the metal tip, because that was why I did it first. I thought I've got a little bit left. I had literally only enough to do this one piece, and I thought I'll just do the tip and see what the tip, and I ended up sort of painting the whole thing. Because we haven't hit 50 minutes yet, but we will too soon, I would imagine. Is there anybody out there? If not, I'm going to carry on.
See it, plan it, analyze it, track it, hedge it, short it, call it.
Welcome to our Origin Series, where we bring you the origins of your favorite superheroes and villains. Today we're going to be covering Carol Danvers, the current Captain Marvel. Now, with most Marvel superheroes, her origin is still valid, so we'll be covering this to the best of our ability to help you understand why Captain Marvel is just awesome, and making so many appearances in books and getting her own movie soon. Now, Carol is a very interesting character because she's introduced to us as a normal human being for quite a few issues, and we actually learn how she gains her abilities and turns into a superhero. Now, after graduating high school, Carol joined the U.S. Air Force to pursue her love of flying. It was there that she excelled and was a top student in her class of the Air Force Academy, and she gained the rank of major. Now, after her time with the Air Force, her solid combat skills garnered her a position with the CIA. And during her tenure there, she worked with the likes of Colonel Fury and the mutant Logan, who you would probably know better as Wolverine. He was a member of the Canadian Secret Service at this time. After her time with the CIA, she left to join NASA as the security director for Cape Canaveral. During her time there, she was tasked with investigating a man by the name of Dr. Walter Lawson, whom she had a weird hunch about and believed that there was something strange going on. So she wouldn't rest until she discovered his true identity. It wasn't long before Carol's investigation brought her very close to Dr. Lawson, and she learned his true identity as the superhero known as Captain Marvel. But he was also known as the Kree warrior known as Mar-Vell. The two of them soon became friends and even lovers, and during their time together, Mar-Vell's arch-nemesis, Colonel Yon-Rogg, kidnapped Carol to use her as bait for a confrontation with Mar-Vell. During this fight, an explosion takes place from an errant laser beam that causes a Kree device known as the Psych Magnetron to explode. While Mar-Vell was able to save Carol from this explosion, she was not saved from the genetic scrambling that somehow intermingled Mar-Vell's Kree DNA with her own. In the aftermath of this explosion, Carol was actually left to recover on her own, and she was let go from NASA. Due to this, she decides to take a break from security and espionage to write a book about her experiences with the space industry, and she soon takes a job with the magazine Woman, which is a subsidiary to J. Jonah Jameson's Daily Bugle. While she is beginning her new life in the world of publishing, she begins to suffer dizzy spells where she eventually blacks out. Now, during these blackouts, the Kree warrior DNA inside of her dresses her up and fights crime as the persona of Miss Marvel. However, it takes some time for her to discover that she is one and the same person with this new superhero. Through a series of events and adventures, Carol is able to come to terms with her being known as Miss Marvel, and she begins to act as Miss Marvel at her own free will. Now, from that point forward, the character of Miss Marvel goes through quite a few well-known story arcs, such as the situation in which she was impregnated by an immortal god character, and there's another one where Rogue steals all of her powers and puts her into a coma. But eventually, she is reintroduced as the new Captain Marvel in July of 2012, where she is currently a member of the Avengers and working with the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's also going to be getting a movie of her own very soon, and I'm personally excited about that. Now, the powers that she has are pretty much all of the Kree powers. So she has super strength, agility, durability, and stamina. She also has the ability to fly, and that's her favorite power since she just loves flying airplanes early in her career. She also has a seventh sense, which is basically just a spidey sense for all intended purposes. And that's pretty much the story of how Carol Danvers went from being Carol Danvers of the CIA and NASA to Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel nowadays. Now, I do intend to do the Captain Marvel story arcs very soon, and if you want to see them sooner, let me know by giving this video a like. We will hit it eventually, but you can kind of front load that one into our list. Also, please don't forget that we have a gaming channel known as Eligible Monster, where we bring you gaming variety videos such as complete stories and lists like top 6 greatest fatalities in Mortal Kombat. We also have another channel known as List Bomb, where we just bring you straight up list videos, such as the top 8 superhero movies that never got made. And lastly, please visit the weeklypoll.net, our comic book YouTuber community, where you can go there and just chat with everyone else. I'm Benny for Comic Historian, and I will see you guys next time right here.
See it, plan it, analyze it, track it, hedge it, shoot it.
Welcome to the Complete Stories series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand what is happening with your favorite superheroes in comics right now. Today, we're going to be covering the first half of Volume 1 for Captain Marvel. And I want to apologize to all of you, my viewers, my listeners, anybody who has been here. Before we go into this video, I'm just going to tell you a short story as to why we are now covering Captain Marvel. Now, when we do videos here at Comic Historian, we look for the ones that cause the least amount of backlash. Simply put, if I have to pick between doing Captain Marvel, which does receive a little bit of backlash, or Batman, which I also enjoy and doesn't receive backlash, it's a lot easier to just get a positive reaction on a Batman video than it is to deal with the Captain Marvel backlash. But I feel by doing this, I have done you, the viewer, and fans of Captain Marvel a disservice. When we were recently at Denver Comic-Con, 2 young girls worked up the courage to come to me and ask me to cover their favorite superhero, Captain Marvel. And just my normal reaction whenever somebody asks me to cover a character that could receive backlash, I told them, these 2 young girls, that it was because of the backlash that we don't cover them, and that was the wrong answer. I should have told them your favorite superhero will be on the channel within the next week, and that is exactly what we are doing.
We are at 50 minutes, so I'm going to have to faff around with the other camera. Gonna have to break his apology up. Whoop-dee-doo. Alexa, stop alarm.
But we still spread it out because
Actually.
of that. So I'm sorry, and here you go. The first half of Captain Marvel.
Where's that gone? Where's the controller gone?
Because
Where did I put
everyone is a hero. As a speeding rocket comes closer to the state of New York, Carol Danvers, the superhero known as Captain Marvel, flies up calling out that she's got it. Brody flies up shouting, "Hang on a moment, let me scan before we intercept," but Carol yells, "There's no time! If this thing's going to explode, it needs to be as far away from New York as possible." She then catches the rocket, spinning it around, throwing it into the air, stating, "Please don't be a nuke." Brody tells her, "Actually, scans show that it's not a nuke," and she just threw that on a trajectory to arc and come down on somebody's house in New Jersey. She flies back up after the rocket, saying, okay, Just so you know, if this was a bomb, then you would be thanking me right about now. When Carol shoots by grabbing the rocket, she stares at it, and Brody flies up asking if she's seen anything like this before. She tells him no, and he's going to want to get Sword on the line. There's somebody in it. Later that night, Carol heads out on patrol with Tony Stark so that they can discuss what it was that Carol found earlier. Tony says the alien that they found was unconscious, but she's stable. She's Nalanian, a rapidly aging race from the outer edges of the Centaurius army. The two touch down to stop a pair of men robbing a couple, and while the heroes take care of them, Carol asks what would she be doing all the way out here. She ran away from home. Tony tells her that that's the thing, she doesn't have a home. The Nalanian planet was destroyed by the build. They attempted to escape, but even the evacuees
Alexa,
were attacked. No one
set
is
me
sure
50 minutes on a timer.
50 minutes, starting now.
Holy monkey, sharing
Tony
twice
tells her
on
exactly,
screen.
which brings him to
Must be a
another idea
miracle.
that he's been thinking about. They need a formal Avengers presence in space. Make it so it's a rotating thing. Some people spend some time off planet hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy, bring intel back, and then send it up to the next guy. Carol thinks on it and says that it's got to be a flyer or a pilot, huh? Somebody you can take to Solitude? Well, she might have an idea of who. And Tony tells her, the choice is obvious, right? Brody. Carol shouts, asking, Brody? And Tony laughs, telling her, I totally agree with you. So if you could you go talk to him about it? Tony then picks up the two muggers and flies off shouting, bye! The next night over at the McGuire Air Force Base, Brody throws a birthday party for Tracy in one of the hangars. While everyone starts to mingle, Carol whispers to Brody that she needs to talk to him for a moment outside. A few kisses later, outside of the hangar, Brody asks, you were saying? Carol tells him that Tony just tried to make the suggestion that James... Rhodes is a better pilot than the great Carol Danvers. Brody says, well, I am. And as Carol tells him in his dreams, Brody goes on telling her about my dreams. I've been thinking that maybe we could go out, have a nice dinner, and not sneaking around behind the backs of everyone that you aren't dating anymore. Carol then says it's not like that, it's just nobody's business. She doesn't want to make a thing out of it until they're both sure. Brody asks, are we not sure? Carol tells him, no, yes, well, I'm sure about you, not so much about me. Brody then says, it's not you, it's me. Carol says, no, yes, maybe, I want to go to space. Brody pauses for a moment and then turns asking, how long? Carol tells him she's not sure, maybe a year. As a few more moments pass, Brody says, if you're sure about it, then you gotta go. I could be many things for you, but I'll never be the one to hold you down. Brody hugs Carol and Carol asks if he can feed her cat. Brody tells her no, absolutely not. A short while later, Brody heads back in and Carol stands outside looking at the stars. She isn't sure what it is, but she knows that there's something out there calling to her like she belongs out there. She changes into her costume and begins to fly up, telling herself that maybe if she flies far enough, she'll be able to turn around and look at the world, see where she belongs. A few weeks later, she finds herself floating in space on her ship, and she asks the computer Harrison to check the SWORD database and identify hostile vessels. Harrison tells her that 3 of the 6 ships show to be Hethrak manufactured transport ships, primarily used by smugglers along this route. The larger ship has an 80% probability that it's a mercenary vessel. None of them have any sort of diplomatic status. She is cleared for engagement.
Hooray! Good, no, you're good, no, battery. I'm ready to do the classes and I'm
says,
finished.
it seems that we have an incoming transmission. And begins to play the audio for the alien ship. She reaches for the universal translates button. She sees her cat Chewie laying on the controls. She picks him up, yelling, you can't lay there! And when she pushes the button, the audio begins to play in English. And the person from the ship says, this route has been claimed by the Happerson Consortium. State your business or you'll be destroyed. She responds telling them that she is Captain Marvel of the Earth's Avengers. They are on a medical transport mission to the planet Torful. They have no business with a Happenside. So if they would be so kind as to stand aside, they'll be on their way. Over in the mercenary ship, Commander Stegan tells one of his officers to make contact with their client. They need to make sure before they murder an Avenger. The client can pay the bill for such a service. After a few moments of silence, the officer then responds stating that the client said to kill the Avenger. Back over in Carol's ship, Harrison warns her that the enemy ships are charging their weapons, but before Carol can finish shouting not to fire, Stegan hits the ship with a blast. Carol takes Chewie, throwing him into his cat carrier, telling him to just sit back for a moment. Mama's going to hand these boys their butts. She begins to dodge and weave through the enemy fire, and as Chewie begins to hiss, Carol tells him that if he didn't want to come, he should have been a lot nicer to people. Once she gets a clear shot, she begins to fire at the transport ships, destroying them. and just as she flies through the explosion, she too is hit. Carol is thrown from her chair, and Harrison tells her that the thrusters, as well as the weapons, are offline. Main power is at 38%. She puts on her helmet, shouting to put all of their power to life support. She's going outside to take care of things. As she starts to get away from the ship, she hits the two mercenary ships with a photon blast, destroying them. But before Carol can locate the third, another blast shoots by, hitting the third mercenary ship. In one of the transports, Stegan's officer asks what are his orders, and Stegan tells them that they will retreat for now. Carol radios back to Harrison asking what did he do, when he tells her no, and then another voice comes over the comm stating, "Oh, sorry, that would be us." Peter Quill says, "The Guardians of the Galaxy." Rocket Raccoon then says that what I wouldn't give to see that again. "Hey, lady, or Captain, is that a camera on your helmet?" "No, sorry, my bad." A short while later, once Carol's ship is docked with Peter's, Carol asks why would they fire on a medical transport. Peter tells her that there could be a number of reasons. The builders wiped out several fleets, ships are at a premium, could have wanted a ride, or cargo. Carol then says, well, her cargo is a Nalian girl in a coma. All she's trying to do is get her home. They think the evacuees of the Nalians have settled on Torfa. Rocket then says, that's a problem, Torfa. But before he can go on, Chewie then jumps up into Peter.
Are you good to go with our new rated Atlas? Don't miss a moment with this Samsung 32-inch Smart HD.
Sure.
Peter's arms, and Rocket shouts, "Get back!" And he pulls out his gun. Rocket starts to fire at the cat, and Carol yells, "What are you doing?" And Rocket continues shooting, shouting, "We need to hurry and kill the flocking thing with fire before it lays eggs!" As the bullets fly, one bounces off a circuit board and sends an electrical charge throughout the ship. As that charge travels, it makes its way to the medical bay and into the container holding the Nalian girl. Suddenly, the cover of the container pops open and the girl inside wakes up screaming back with the others. Carol grabs Chewie and Rocket asks, "Have you seen it lay eggs?" And Carol says, "For the love of no! I have not seen my cat, the mammal, laying an egg." Once things finally calm down, Carol asks, "What were you saying about Torfa?" And Rocket says, "Torfa is a poison planet, as in not compatible with life. Peter that adds that most of the population got wiped out by an unknown plague. Skip ahead 200 years, and the Galactic Council, and all of their wisdom, chose to relocate the Builder refugees to a poison planet. Now that everyone's starting to get sick, the Council is trying to move the settlers, but there isn't enough ships to go around, and the refugees won't leave their sick behind. Cool Dan hell, and I can see eye to eye with my dear old dad. But getting as many people off the planet as possible before history repeats itself is our goal now." Carol then asks who's his dad, and Peter laughs, telling her, "Ha! I carry the blood of the Spartax line." Carol then says that his father is, oh. But before they could continue, the girl from the container grabs a gun, pointing it at Peter, asking, "How could she?" Gamora grabs a knife, but before she can attack, Carol steps between them, saying, "Whoa, let's all calm down here. What's your name?" The girl says that her name is Tick, and she will be the one who kills the Prince of Spartax. Before he can finish, Gamora charges forward, pushing Carol into Tick, and if Tick drops the gun, she makes for the airlock to get back to Carol's ship. As Carol's ship detaches from docking, Carol shoots outside after the ship, shouting, "No one steals my Flarkin cat!" A short while later in space, Carol realizes something. She can fly fast, but not as fast as her ship, which is now gone. Rocket radios in stating, "Good news is that your ship's hyperdrive still works." And Peter then gets on stating, "If you would like, you could rejoin us, and we can try to make our way to Torfa." But before he can finish, an alarm goes off and Carol's ship appears out of hyperdrive, shooting at the Guardian ship. However, just as Carol gets ready to chase after them, the ship jumps back into hyperdrive. Carol then says, "Well, would you look at that? I didn't know my ship could do that." Rocket tells her, "Actually, it's not designed to jump in and out of hyperdrive like that. But that little green girl isn't a bad technician." Tick jumps back out and aims straight for the Guardian ship, but as it gets close, Carol jumps in the way to try and stop it. As the ship rams into Carol, Rocket says, "Ouch! That one had to hunt." Tick then gets up from the pilot seat stating, "Please don't be dead, I didn't mean to." And just then a hand slams onto the windshield and Carol tells her to write down the day and time she said that, because if she so much put a scratch on this ship, she will deeply regret that she didn't kill her when she had a chance. A short while later, after getting Tick into handcuffs, Tick shouts that they would have done the same if they were in her position. The Spartax king is trying to separate them and force them off their land. So if she could have taken out his son, he would feel their pain. And Peter stops her, telling her, "You wouldn't have brought the kings to his knees by helping me. In fact, he probably would have sent you a thank you note." Secondly, as much as it kills me to say it, this isn't Jason's style. What would Spartax want with a poison planet? Tick asks if he's not going for the land, why were you trying to get them off of there by force? Peter shouts, telling her, "Oh, I'm not so sure. Maybe he's trying to save your lives." Carol then says, "Look, what reason would the Alliance have to relocate your people other than to protect you?" Tick stands up yelling, "They don't know that. I leave that stuff to the diplomats. I'm a warrior. My job is to..." And Carol shouts, telling her, "You are not a warrior. Sit down this instant. There is no honor in what you did. Tick sits back down, and Carol continues to yell, and Tick begins to cry. Peter whispers that, you're so great with kids, Carol. And Carol tells him, no, really, sometimes I am. This time, no, not so much. As Tick starts to calm down, Carol says it breaks her heart, but she gets where she's coming from. Their home world is destroyed. Their refuge is destroyed. They've been shuttled around the galaxy. The minute that they find a place to settle and start working, people start getting sick. And the Alliance figured that they made a mistake and are trying to help move them. Peter then says, well, with their ship's speed, they got about 2 weeks to reach Torfa. Hopefully by then she can work on getting Tick to trust her. He would offer to help, but Carol tells him no. If they think that Spartax is up to something, him being there would do more harm than good. Don't worry, she's got some moves. A week and a half later at Torfa, Carol smiles and holds out her hand to the man named Gil standing high. Her name is Captain Marvel, and she's a part of the Avengers in the Galactic Alliance. Gil stares for a moment and then punches Carol to the ground. She picks herself up as her hands begin to glow, and she tells herself, look away, Carol. You don't bring photon blast to a fistfight. Tick runs over helping Carol, telling Gil to wait the Avengers with her. Gil hugs her and picks up Tick while everyone else gathers around, and Carol says, okay, there may be some kind of a misunderstanding here. Gil helps Carol up the rest of the way and asks her if she's with the Galactic Alliance, and Carol tells him yes. Well, sort of. We're on the same side. Gil punches her again, telling her that there has been no mistake. She springs up from the ground, stating, let's try this again, and grabs Gil by the arm, slamming him to the ground. She says that she's come a very long way at the request of their little green friend. An audience with their leadership would be nice. Just then, a woman surrounded by guards asks Carol if this is the diplomatic greeting where she comes from. Tick yells, Lady Elenites! And Lady Elenites asks if this is the champion that was promised. Tick tells her no, this is Captain Marvel. She was actually looking for Spider-Woman, but Captain Marvel's an Avenger too, so she's gonna help. Tick then looks at Carol and tells her to go ahead and tell them everything's going to be all right. Carol extends her arm, telling her it's an honor, Madame President. I'm not sure on which I should use. Elenites then asks Tick if she would be so kind to escort the emissaries of the Spartax Empire back to their ships. She's afraid negotiations with them are in an impasse. As Elenites begins to walk off, she calls to Carol to follow her. They have much to discuss. And once the two of them are alone, Carol says that she's so sorry that they got off on the wrong foot, and respectfully, the Alliance did fight the Builders who destroyed their world. The Alliance did give them a home when they had nowhere else to go. Elenite starts to pick some flowers, telling her, yes, they gave it to them, and now they want to take it back by force, claiming that it is unsafe. She looks at Carol and asks, why is it that you were here? And Carol tells her to bring Tick back home. And then she says, why are you still here? Carol goes on telling her that because Tick has gone through things that no one should experience, because she believes that her presence here might help somehow. She's there to help. Elenides then asks if she brought doctors, medicine, ships, troops, weapons, perhaps? Something that they could use as some leverage in their negotiation. Carol stumbles, trying to say no. And Elenides asks, then what? You returned an errant child. To which I'm grateful, but still, the arrogance that you believe that you think that you are unique. You believe that a few well-chosen words will somehow make it clear that you're here where others have failed. The longer that you stay, the more people are in danger. If I leave, we are sentencing whoever's left to death. That is not something that I'm prepared to do. But you? As Elenides looks at Carol, Carol tells her no, she won't. And then she looks at the rows of beds with sick patients, and Elenides telling her, good, perhaps you could make yourself useful after all. And there you have it. The first part of Captain Marvel from Kelly Sue DeConnick. Now, I am a fan of Captain Marvel. I don't like what they've done with her recently, because she's become like a big evil villain in the Marvel Universe, but then Marvel wants to be like, no, she's still the good guy. Forget she put Tony in a coma. And then she meets up with Tony, and Tony's like, you put me in a coma. So it's like, Marvel wants to have their cake and eat it too. I don't get it. But anyway, following this, we're actually going to go back to doing Ms. Marvel. We're going to start doing Wonder Woman again. She fights the dark side, and then the old gods, and then becomes Star Sapphire again. How have I missed this? Anyway, we're going to be covering all of those books along with various other ones that I've picked out. It's not really going to disrupt our main schedule, but we are going to be kind of diving into characters that I have not been diving into because Batman's just easy to do. All right, guys. I mean, and for the record, for those guys who are wondering, I also am like a huge fan of Batman. There's like 2 Batman tattoos on me, and then this one's Red Hood, but if you don't know that, it's Batman. Yeah. So, and I like Wonder Woman. She's over here too. Like, I kind of like a lot of superheroes, guys. That one's Flash. You can't tell lightning bolt? Flash. Over here is like Bahamut from Final Fantasy. Oh look, Benny's flexing his crappy muscle. I'll see you guys next time right here.
Are you good to go with our new Rated Atlas? You can also get our lowest price ever on this Motorola.
Ma! We will have no advertisements. No advertisements. Oh, 1 hour. Okay, I think we're pretty much done on the second coat and everything a little bit more detail. Hopefully you saw which brush I was using, because again, I didn't actually tell you. But I showed you the fine line ones.
Welcome to the
They
full
are
story
shut up.
For older videos, can you find them?
Talking. Yeah, so we got the new just for an instance, that's the old brush. I gotta hold him because I actually don't want to put him on the cane because of the white paint on his gloves. But there's the old brushes, all bendy and no good. And they're the nice new brushes that are not bendy and just really good. They are really, really good. Definitely would recommend getting the set that I showed you. And you get to see that in more of a more close-ups in the PS4 edit, guys. Don't forget to tune in for that one. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to add the last pieces of green to the second coat. There is going to be a third, but that will be off stream. Tomorrow is Thursday, so I'll be probably getting on with some more gaming, maybe on Twitch, and maybe just uploading something. You'll never know, but you'll have to find out tomorrow. I'm not going to go off until I've done the green, but yeah, what do you think of it so far? And whatever else, I'm looking for a paintbrush that's suitable, because I've got to do a little bit of green. Green there. Right, nice bit of green. Is that going to be any good? Yes, it should be. And a little bit of white. Mixy. I go through so much white, it's unbelievable. We want a bit more darker than that, I think. But yeah, I will have to definitely give this another coat, because I can still see things that will definitely, because of doing the other two Roblox, I must admit to you, having to do 3 things in 2 weeks has been a challenge, but I have enjoyed the evenings. Instead of just sitting there in front of a game and sort of just gaming, I've been quite productive. I might be extremely tired, but I've had a very good experience. I want to thank you. Big thank you to Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Pineapple. If you would like anything else made, drawn, created, or an adaptation to what this is, because I did want to make the head removable, because it kind of would be removable. Take the head off and be able to use it as a magnet to stick on your fridge, like I showed you with the little blutes, with the attachable arms, kind of like my Pickle Rick I showed you. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure doing this. Even though I was a little bit narky, was it Monday? That was because I had stayed up all of Sunday night painting, and all of Saturday night painting. After a live stream, I thought I feel a little bit painty. I'll get the painting on. 6 hours later, he had painted 2 figurines, made a couple things out of polymer clay, had to practice with some more hands and things, and thought, oh, it's light outside. Maybe I should go to sleep. And thus, Monday was arose and realized that I hadn't slept properly for 2 days. And then Tuesday came along, and I redid it, because I redid the whole thing after that absolute travesty of the arms falling off. I really tried to fix the front of it, and yeah, just the whole thing fell apart. Then did once that had ended the stream, I thought, yeah, I can't do this on stream anymore. I'm going to go and did that. And we came back and I did the whole thing overnight on Monday. That's why I figured out how to put the the hat in. And yeah, I know how long things take to paint and things because I do them every single day. I say every single day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, do them live. But a lot of the time you don't see me in the evenings because I don't always record that piece. But yeah, you will have a video that is going to be released probably, if not Thursday, if not Thursday and Friday. Same with your Roblox, but we'll chat about delivery, or if you want to pick up by hand and come and have a look at the studio or where I do my stuff and how I do my stuff, then definitely if your little lad wants to come along as well, that's absolutely fine. So you can pick up his Roblox characters. Otherwise, yeah, I'm done for now. I'm not going to give you a big reveal, mate, because I want you to kind of see how it turns out in the end. But for the rest of you, thank you very much for watching. And thank you very much for leaving those comments. And I will see you in one way or another. But you probably won't see me live unless I'm doing some gaming, guys, over on Twitch or even over on YouTube. All you got to do is wait for the next ping from the notifications. Leave a thumbs up so you like this video. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Once again, my name's Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games. Check me out on Instagram as well as on TikTok, because that's where Richard Nutt is, who was my first ever paid customer. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much to Pineapple Man. And you'll get your Pineapple Man very, very soon. Bye for now.